Put your hands up a little more towards your shoulders while you do it. Yeah.
All right, DJ. Light it up. This is such a deep one. It's like, yeah, we just started. Is it going? Hey, what's up? It's Val, Artist M.D. So, I've just been sitting here trying to think about how I'm going to encapsulate Jekyll and Hyde in a 3-minute video. So we just got done shooting Jekyll and Hyde. This is my favorite on the whole album. I think it's my favorite partly because I love the music, but also just the story it tells. It's such a close thing to my heart. And so to try to summarize it, just listen to the poem. The details are in the words. But I basically realized, like, early on in life, I had a couple traumatic experiences that were just, on a heart level, really shut me down. And I kind of made this decision that I didn't want to hurt anymore. And so in order to do that, I needed to leave this emotional realm that I was living in, and sensitive heart, tender, and kind of go up into my head. And God gave me this really insane brain. And so I just kind of went up into my brain and shut off my emotions from probably when I was like 12 or 13 all the way till when I met Jesus at 22. And I kind of lived in my head, and though I still experienced severe and intense emotions, I didn't know them as emotions, and I would just press them down and kind of separate from them. And I think the separation was pretty severe, and to the point that I couldn't even identify emotions. If you'd asked me like what I was feeling, I would have told you what I was thinking. And then I meet Jesus and have this like heart unlocking experience where literally I think he's taking my heart out of a cage that it's been in and setting me free. So I start to feel and kind of get in touch with my emotions, but then they're just wild and crazy, and they react intensely to things that I realize quickly, like, not everyone reacts this way. And as I've gotten older and kind of processed and gone through a lot of healing with Jesus, there's just been this realization, like, that's actually pretty normal for what I experienced through my teenage years on a heart level. And this whole Jekyll and Hyde idea is like, really there was Val that was like who I put out and who was like safe, and then there was like the real me on the deep heart level. And that person I wasn't really in touch with until even like the last 3-4 years. It's like continually a process that's happening more and more. And when I still can get triggered, and since I've written this poem, I don't experience it the same way. But I used to, like, I could get triggered by something and I would wall up and not even be present. It was like I was in my head. I could rationalize. I was still me in a way. Like I wasn't like a totally different person. I was still me, but I was not at all connected to my heart. And like who my real self is was not coming out. And it was argumentative. It was logical. I was like walled up and protected. And that was like the Hulk. And he was strong, and he would get me through tough times, and he would get me through pain and severity. But like the Hulk character in the Avengers is really like, I connect with him so much, the Banner character. And so I had this like Hulk in me that would like come out to protect me when things were going bad. And then my process as becoming whole is like, as I've met Jesus now, I let him be the Hulk for me, and I don't have to protect myself. So when traumatic things happen or difficult situations happen, I'm looking to him to protect and to guard my heart more than I have to like dissociate or separate from my heart and go up into my head. And as I've like reconciled that, I realized like this Hulk isn't the enemy. Like, he's not a bad guy. He's a part of me. He just was like cut off from the rest of me and then brought out when I really needed him to protect me, which is kind of like in the movie. And then interestingly, even in the Avengers, like Banner reconciles with the Hulk, and in the last one they're like together. There's just one of them. And I feel like that's happened in me in this last year particularly, where like there's not a separate, like I don't break like that anymore. I don't break and separate and I'm not totally gone. And because of that, I had to learn to deal with my emotions, but I'm like, I feel like I'm integrated for the first time in my life, really, which is significant. Like I'm saying this in a couple minute video, but this is a lot of processing and prayer and pictures that God has shown me. So I shared it because I want you to know that, again, there's nothing too big for God to heal. And there's nothing too dark that he can't lead you through. If you've been through traumas, it would be normal to have some walled off part of you because you just you don't want to access that pain. But I promise you that if you let Jesus into there, he'll bring down the walls, he'll bring you back together. You'll find yourself more whole. You lose control, which is what we want. but he's in control, and like he's a better protector than I or we could ever be. That's how the poem ends, is like, God's a much better protector than we ever could be. So like I could never protect myself as well as he could. And he not only protects me, but he heals. So even when I experience bad things, he can heal. So I think that's all I've got for this video. If this resonates with you, if you have something you want to talk to me about, go to artistmd.co and send me a message. I'd love to hear it. And if you want to support me, the best way is to same thing on the website, artistmd.co. Put in your email address, and I'll send you stuff as soon as I make it. And if you're on YouTube, just click subscribe to my channel. It does help me. All right, appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Now put your fists up and say, Hulk smash!
Hulk smash! Are you shooting that great? Hulk smash!